will be recording today's session. So you will receive a copy of the recording. It's not shared on live, only with the participants who registered. So yeah, want you to know that. And I'll introduce myself first. And I was thinking about this. I better have a quick good elevator pitch, but I don't have time for that. So I'm
Ah,
just going to tell you that my name is Dawn McCooey, and I'm a lifetime entrepreneur cultivator. I don't know, Trisha, what do you think?
I like that term. That's great. That's fun.
Okay. Welcome to WBC's Fireside Chat. And I would like to share with you that I am joining you today from the traditional and unceded territories of the Algonquin speaking peoples, the Songhees, and the First Nations of the Esquimalt Nation. These peoples over 4,000 years ago were the very first entrepreneurs, the original entrepreneurs in these territories. Because Victoria was very much a hub of trading with a number of different nations, the Haida nations and nations from the lower mainland as well. So I'm happy to and privileged to live and work and play on these lands. If you'd like to make a note in the chat, Jen has put a link in there for you. If you'd like to make a note of where you're calling in from today. So, welcome. We've got a great, huge group and a very exciting topic: elevate your pitch, a fireside chat on authentic communication for growth. Those of you who are just joining us, who are just coming in, welcome. We're just getting started. Okay. I want to talk to you briefly about the services. For some of you, you're very familiar with WeBC, and for some of you, this may be your first connection with WeBC. So I want you to know about some of the things that we offer. So we provide support for for your small business journey. That includes financing to get your business started or to grow your business. And it's important to know that the loans program through WeBC is different than the traditional lenders in that the loan is based on a more holistic view of your business. And so sometimes you would qualify for a loan with WeBC when you might not qualify with a traditional lender. And we have business loans up to $150,000. We also offer business advice and support, skills development workshops like this one that you're in right this very moment, as well as mentoring connections. And really, most importantly, a supportive community for entrepreneurs to share stories and connect. So that's what we're doing today. But let's take a look at today's webinar. That's me. This is more important. I want to welcome our panelist. There's a huge crowd out there today, and I want to say you are in for a real treat. Trisha Miltimore, I've known Trisha, we've crossed paths over the last many years, and Trisha is going to tackle this whole subject of your elevating your pitch, your communication. If you've ever stumbled when asks, "What do you do?" You're not alone. Crafting an elevator pitch that feels genuine and authentic takes more than a script. Join us for a candid fireside chat with Trisha Miltimore, a dynamic leadership expert and work-life wellness activator who spent 25 years helping professionals get that igniting. It's a fireside chat, and we're going to be ignited today. Igniting that your impact without burning out. Trisha will share practical insights and personal stories on how to speak with clarity, confidence, and authenticity when you're introducing yourself in your work. So whether you're meeting new clients, you're networking, you're pitching your ideas, this is your chance to learn real world strategies that make your message resonate. there's also going to be time to ask questions. Trisha also conducts a 12-week coaching program, communication coaching program that's called Speak Plus. And you can connect. She's going to share her contact info with you at the end of today's session as well. So you'll be able to connect directly with Trisha. I'm sorry, Trisha. I've called you Trish a couple of times.
I
It's
like it.
Trisha.
It could be either. It could
It
be
could be
anything but
either.
Pat.
So I'm going to turn off, I'm going to stop sharing my screen and we'll put a spotlight on Trisha and welcome Trisha. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you, Dawn. Yes, it's been a long time since we've known each other. It's pretty cool. And thank you to WeBC. And hello and welcome to everyone who's joined in. How many you got? 120 people. You've chosen to be here. So I promise to make the next
Wow.
45 minutes or so as hopefully as impactful with some insights that will help you definitely to elevate your pitch. About 15 years ago, I hired a coach to help me because at the time I had so many different services and products and had a lot of spinning plates in the air. You know, can you relate to that on any level? And so I hired this powerhouse
Mm.
to help me clarify, to really zone in on what it was that I wanted to focus on. And in the first meeting together, and I mean, I'll be honest, she was kind of intimidating. I was, like I was intimidated, but I loved her. And she said to me, the very first question in our very first session, she said, Trisha, what is it that you do? Just like that. I was like, right? That moment where you're asked, what is it that you do? Who are you? Tell me about you. And I literally I more than stumbled, I had this awkward just silence because I wasn't really sure what to say. But I have spent many years in radio and I don't like silence. So then I proceeded to just ramble off every single thing I've ever done for any client and any person, any business idea. I probably talked about what I had for breakfast. And at the end of it, I kind of took a breath and she looked at me and she goes, we have some work to do. So I was like, yeah, we do. So that was 15 years ago. And since then, I feel like I have evolved. So I have some insights and tools to share with you where we did land together during our time working on kind of my identity, my theme, what it is that I brought of value to clients in my work was the idea of being a passion igniter. And at the time, it felt like such alignment. I'm like, yes, that's it. I am a passion igniter. And then all my services, my keynotes, my workshops, my trainings fell under that. And we built the website. We had the marketing collateral. I just poured my heart and soul, as I'm sure some of you on this call have done in the past, heart and soul into this. I even got little business cards, and I had my kid's birthday party coming up. So I thought, well, I'll just slip my new business card into the invite. So I did that so that people could RSVP back. And a couple days later, I'm at the school to pick up my kiddo. I can't remember which one. It's all a blur. Maybe a couple of them. And this mom kind of saunters up to me and she's like, hey. I'm like, hi. She goes, so the party. I'm like, oh, yes, the party. She goes, so like, can I bring my husband? I'm thinking, yeah, sure, the more the merrier. The dads can have some beer. Sure, bring them. Bring them. Absolutely. And she goes, well, do you have like the toys there? And I'm thinking, oh, yeah, man, I got a lot of kids. So I got toys. What kind? Yeah, toys. Toys galore. She looked at me and I looked at her. And that's when we both maybe kind of realized we weren't talking about the same thing. So she, of course, thought that I had passion parties, right? That I sold sex toys,
Ah.
which I don't. But, 15 years later, wow, I still get the question. But yeah, so it's the power of communication, the power of clarity is just there, right? Things can go awry in so many different ways. But today, we're bringing clarity to the experience of your elevator pitch. Thank you, Dawn, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you to WBC once again for hosting this, because I think this is more than an important conversation. If we want to create opportunities for ourselves, we need to be able to get into the rooms, into the conversations, and articulately and confidently share what it is that we bring of value into this world. But it's not always easy, as we'll talk about throughout the next about 30 minutes. And I have some ideas around mindset shifts on that as well. We typically think of a pitch as an elevator pitch. What an interesting concept. You get into an elevator and you're in the time you go from one floor to another undetermined. Is it like a 72 floor building? Is it a 3-floor building? I don't know. It's a lot of pressure. And I'm supposed to share with this really important person who is the ultimate connection for the ultimate success, my elevator pitch. I don't know about you, but gives me the anxiety big time, right? And so let's throw out this concept of an elevator pitch and instead focus on connection. Take the pressure off. It's not about being in an elevator because truly, I don't recall the last time I was in an elevator and pitched. I just don't, right? So let's throw it out the window. So let's more focus on those moments that are presented to us day in and day out in our everyday lives where we're connecting. We're connecting online at like events like this, on platforms, on social media, maybe even. And of course, we're also connecting in person. And these connections don't have to be just at like very formal networking events. It could be at the coffee shop. Maybe you're working there and you meet someone. It's the mindset of being open to inviting these connections because connections truly do create opportunity. We can even take it one level up and invite people to these connections, as I'm sure some of you do, perhaps with one on one conversations online or in person. I mean, look at these two. They're having so much fun. They're connecting. They look like they're having a good time. But really, again, connections equal opportunity. And if I could go back to my younger self years and years ago, I would say to my younger self, get out from behind the screen and get out into the community even more. Get out and make the connections because those connections lead to other connections. And we know how important it is, but gosh, I know, I get it. I'm busy too. I got the 4 kids and sometimes it's hard to get out, isn't it? Sometimes it's hard to put on the non-comfy clothes and just get out there and do it. But the reality is that 85% of professional opportunities come through networking. So we can't sweep it under the rug. It's important. It's important if we want to engineer success, create opportunities to get out there and do it. I like to think of networking or creating connections, opportunities to use our pitches as a bridge. There's a bridge, you're on one side, we have someone else on the other side, and you're looking at each other, and it's an opportunity to walk down that bridge and meet in the middle to make that connection. But we have to choose to get on the bridge and walk it. We have to choose to take that action step for ourselves, even when it's maybe not so comfortable. And every now and then you go to a networking event. I just went to one. I'm in Kelowna, and I just went to one a couple days ago at the beginning of the week, and it was for social impact makers, like social enterprise companies, social purpose. It was really cool, actually. It was people I've never really met before. It's an industry and kind of like a group of people I'd like to get more connected with. So I saw it. I just signed up for it on Eventbrite, and I went. It was really cool. Met some neat people. And every now and then when you go out and you meet new people, you have like this like synergy, right? You've experienced it where you have a sparkler and they're a sparkler and you come together and it's like extra sparkles. No, not every connection's like that, but every now and then, and I certainly had one of those that evening where you leave kind of excited. I like to think of networking and going out and intentionally making connections like exercising. It's not like you want, I mean, maybe you do, but it's not like I want to go and work out. But after I do it, I'm always glad I did. So some food for thought there for to up the motivation in moments where you're like, oh, I think I'll just stay home in my pajamas. So when we're networking, we're using 4 elements. And this is what I talk a lot about in my communications training. The words we're actually speaking. So the words we choose to use. And that's where the pitch script, not really, but you'll see. I'm making it really simple for you. When you want to elevate it, we're going to elevate it. Your voice, how you speak, your space, the space you take up when you're having a conversation, when you're walking in a room, and most importantly, more important than any of that, is your energy, the energy you're showing up with. And when we talk about authentic communication, this is not something you have to work on. You just have to show up as you. You will show up as you genuinely and authentically by just showing up. And I think we make it so much more complicated for ourselves when we kind of get in our own heads about it. You are a unique, absolutely synergistic ball of you because of your experiences, your perspectives, the challenges you have faced, the obstacles you have overcome, the successes that you've had, the people you know, the whole bundle of you. And it's so cliche, but like there's no one like you. But it's true. So just by showing up as you, That is your unique energy. And the idea behind the energy, why it's so important, is just knowing that you deserve to be in that room and knowing that your energy deserves to be shared. And sometimes in a lot of the work I do with individuals, that's probably the first place we need to start. Ever felt like this when you walk into a networking room? Listen, I'm extroverted. You can probably tell. I professionally, I'm extroverted. Personally, I don't like house parties. Like I would rather just stay home, to be honest. But this is literally, I found the perfect picture how I feel every time I do a networking event or I put myself in one of those uncomfortable kind of scenarios. I just like this is how I feel inside. I might be smiling on the outside, but on the inside, I'm like, yeah, I'm standing in the corner of the room looking at everyone, networking and connecting, and this is how I feel. So just know we're all in it. We're all in it. We're doing it. We get out there because we need to create the opportunities for ourselves because our voices and our work deserves to be shared. But it's okay to feel that way because we can choose to get on the bridge anyways. So to make it easier for you to get out there and network and use your pitch, which we will work on in just a little bit here, I have some tools for networking to share. And these are meant to be very practical. They're meant to be, insightful in ways where it helps you to slightly shift your mindset to get you out more, to get you asking for the opportunity, sending that email that you're nervous about sending, putting yourself in those slightly uncomfortable situations that expand your connection base, expand your skills and expand the narrative you have about yourself, about what you can do or can't do. And that's where the real fulfillment comes in because the world wants to keep us safe. The world, in terms of our minds, it wants to keep us comfortable. And when we put ourselves in uncomfortable positions, as we all know, good things can come from that. And even if you stumble or you fail or you just bomb, I don't know how you want to put it. At least you're just proud you did it. No? Right? Is there ever a moment where you're not happy that you went after something you said that you want to do? So I think that's pretty cool. So here's some tools for networking, and they're not complicated. So please take them in and just use them for what they are. I often think about this topic of communication and networking and how, like I mentioned, we sometimes make it harder than it needs to be. It's kind of like, just being healthy. I mean, I think most of us know we could just eat more fruits and vegetables, get good sleep, and, exercise. We move our bodies in ways that feel good, and we're all healthier. But it's very easy to make that much more complicated. So here you have it. Here's your very first tool for making networking a little bit easier, and dare I even suggest maybe a little bit fun. Maybe? Let's actually take a quick second. On the chat, I would love to know if you had to describe how you feel when you walk into, like, the moment you walk into a networking room or you put yourself in one of those kind of situations, a descriptive word of how it feels for you viscerally while you're putting yourself in that position to walk into that room. Share with me on the chat. I'm very curious to know people's kind of feelings. Outsider, intimidated. Isn't imposter an interesting one too, right? Terrified, curious, love that. Awkward, invigorated, nervous, anxious, excited can be quite the mix, right? Thanks for sharing, everyone. This is great. Interesting. I think we've seen outsider a few times, or at least I have in this insecure. It's just, I mean, we're being judged, right? We know we're putting ourselves in a position to being judged, which every day we're being judged. You're judging me right now. A mix for sure. You look for a safe person or area. Personally, I just love the food. So I go for the appies. I may not even eat a lot of it, but I just feel like everyone's there happy because there's food. So it feels like a happy place to be. Empowered, frozen. Oh yes, for some of us, we freeze up, and it's hard to move past that, right? Insecure. Thank you for sharing. Excited, Alicia says, excited to meet new people and learn about them, at the same time anxious about sharing about myself. Yeah. Well, when it comes to networking, it can be quite the mix, and it can become easier, not only the more we do it, but with the mindset we approach it with. And for me, this first tool has been a big game changer because it just, again, takes the pressure off. It's not all on my shoulders. The first one is to ask questions. So when you meet someone and you're chatting with them, just ask as many questions as you can, because when you are interested in other people, you become more interesting. And that's what people remember. They remember that they felt heard, they felt even potentially valued, and maybe at one point understood at certain points. So ask the questions, and they can be about the weather. Sure, there's no right or wrong. It can be about what's happening in their industry. It can be about them. And if you want to take it to the next level, if you're comfortable, not only are you asking questions to learn about them, to kind of like mine the information that they have in their brains a little bit, so that you can synthesize it and learn about the world for yourself. But the next level would be to intentionally collect stories. So collecting stories is kind of like a mindset. Like you are like, I'm so curious, but I want to know your stories. I genuinely want to know what has worked for you. What are your challenges? What are you most excited about? One of my favorite questions to ask is, so what's happening for you in the next year or two? What are you most excited about? And it's amazing the answers you can get from people and the things you learn. One minute they're talking about their, maybe how they're presenting it, boring job, doing some kind of admin thing. And the next minute they're talking about their passion for building furniture in their garage. Like you just don't know what their real stories are. But when we collect stories, that helps us to understand the world. It gives us information and it provides a point of connection. And it's not about like false connection or conniving manipulation. It's about genuine interest. I'm like genuinely interested about people. And when I approach networking that way, it's just there's no pressure on me. Yes, I share my pitch, which I will tell you next how to formulate. But beyond that, I'm just interested in collecting stories. So it's more about collecting stories than business cards. It's more about collecting stories than it is about transactional, who are you, what do you do, and then moving on to the next person. And it just makes it more fun. I enjoy it way more. So those are the first two tools for making networking more enjoyable, a little bit easier, take the pressure off. It just doesn't have to be that stressful. Now, if you're wanting to know about the elevator pitch, as I'm sure you are, because that's pretty much why you probably signed up, how about this one? Here's the formula. I teach this formula to people who are very successful in their careers. Maybe they're just wanting to be able to articulate what they do a little bit clearer, or maybe you're just starting out in a new profession, or maybe you're just new to professions in general. Wherever stage you're at, this formula works. And it's so simple, it's almost stupid. It's who you are, it's what you do, and it's why you do it. So let's break it down. Maybe if you have at home a word pad open on your computer, or you could go old school, you could write this down: who, what, why. And we're gonna craft your pitch right here, right now. So when you leave this call, you got something to use. Fair? Sound good? Yeah, yeah. Give me some I don't know, like one of these. I love this one. Yay. Didn't even pop up. There you go. Good. Yay, I got some of these. Okay, thank you. Okay, let's break this down. It's so simple, but it's so effective. You walk into a room, you need to introduce yourself. Okay, we want to be able to be articulate, we want to be confident, and we want to be genuine. We just want to be able to share who it is, what we do, and why we do it. The who literally is your name. I know. It's crazy easy. You know your name, right? Most days. Who you are. Hi, my name is Trisha. The what is your title? How do you define what you do? And I know we're not meant to be defined by titles, but with the purpose of networking, we gotta zone it in some way, right? So the what. So the what is for me. My name is Trisha, and I am a leadership and communications trainer. So what is it that you do? What is your title? And by the way, perfectionists, as I know, we have many of you on this call right now. This does not need to be set in stone. It's not going to be your title forever. You don't have to contemplate it for the next 6 weeks before you choose on your title, because by then you'll probably be wanting to choose a different title, and then the process just keeps evolving. Just choose something that fits right now, that feels good to you, and you'll tweak it and you'll change it. And as you become a master networker, you'll slightly tweak it and change it depending on the audience of the people that you're speaking to. So who you are, what you do. Now the fun and important part, the part that will maybe be remembered, because how many people's names and what they do you remember when you go networking? I mean, maybe you do, but it kind of goes here and out here for me. Like, even if I try the whole like remember what they brought to a picnic. So like uh oh, Sally brought salad. That was a trick I was taught many years ago. Have you guys heard of this? Just to help you remember. Except for the problem with me and my brain is I would just remember salad. So I'd see this person, just think salad. Not Sally, just salad. Ah, good times. Anyways, okay, back to the formula. So who you are, what you do, and why you do it. And the why is the value that you bring to the world through your work. Now, there's two levels to this. I'm going to explain both, and you can decide which one you want to use. And there's no pressure for either one. Okay, so the why as the emerging new professional, or maybe you're just more comfortable at this kind of place, is saying why you love to do what you do. So my name is Trisha. I'm a leadership and communications trainer, and I love to help individuals use their voice and energy to engineer success, right? I'm passionate about that. I get excited about it. Easy. And you want to make it a short sentence. Like nobody wants to sit there, and not that they don't want to, but it just, if it goes on too long, it becomes a little bit less impactful, right? And you want to keep the connection and the communication going. So that's the first level where you're just saying why you love to do what you do, right? And even if you haven't done it for a long time, or you feel like an imposter, as I saw that word pop up a few times, even if you feel like an imposter, you can still love the idea of what you're going to do. If you're starting out and you're new and you haven't done a lot of it, let's not hold ourselves back. Even if you haven't done a lot of it, you can love the idea of doing it. Yes? Right? Let's sit in that truth. Now, if you are a seasoned professional and you've done a lot of the work that you currently do or want to do, then you would say why it's of value to the people, or of value to organizations in a form that has more agency. So instead of me saying I love to help individuals use their voice and energy to engineer success, I would have a little bit more agency behind it. I help individuals use their voice and energy to engineer success. You see the difference? One is that I love to do it, and the second one is I help. It's saying this is what I do. And it still has your energy and your excitement behind it. It's just a slightly different flavor. And the reason why I share the two options is because I find a lot of people get stuck in the idea, well, I'm not actually doing it yet, or I haven't done a lot of it, or more common, I don't know if I'm good enough to say that I do that. Like that imposter thing really can hold us back. And I'm kind of done with it. I'm done with it. If you have a passion and an interest to get out there and be a change maker and do things in this world, then own it and say you love to do it. And then by saying you love to do it and by getting out there and sharing that you're doing it, you start to do it, and then you're doing it. It's a beautiful thing. So own that. Own that power. Talk about what you love or why what you do is of the value. And that's the formula. I mean, it just doesn't get much more complicated than that. So I'm going to share mine once again, and I'm going to take it from the place of doing the work, because that's where I'm comfortable doing that. And then we're going to take a quick little couple-minute break here. Not even a break, but we're going to use the chat for you to share your own. And this is one of the ways that we can put ourselves out there and make connections too. So, hi, my name is Trisha. I'm a leadership and communications trainer, and I help individuals to use their voice and energy to engineer success. Tell me about you, right? That kind of thing. It's so easy that it could just roll off your tongue, and now you're having fun. Now you're just out there collecting stories and, asking questions and making true, genuine connections that matter, because you're not so stuck in your head about what you're going to say. So let's have some fun with this. Let's go to the chat box. And for anyone who's comfortable, and I challenge you here just to put something in there, because then you can say you did. there is no right or wrong. You're talking about yourself, right? And share what it is that you're all about. Share your formula. I'm going to go back one so you can still see the formula. Who, what, why. Michelle. Oh my gosh, good to see your name. Thank you for sharing. I know a lot. Joanne, I feel like I know quite a few of these names already. Jesse, I'm an energetics coach. I help women restore, empower, and manage their energy so they thrive instead of survive. Oh, I love it. And there's a little rhyme in there. It's kind of fun. This is great. Now, you will all have access to the recordings. I don't know if there's access to the chat data. There is, Dawn. Okay,
Yes, there
perfect. So
is.
Yeah, see, and then you can go back and read through these, and then some of the connections inspire you or you're interested. You never know where creative collaboration can bring you. You can reach out to these individuals who many, I would imagine, are on LinkedIn as well. You know, the ladies told me that this is a very engaged group, and you are not disappointing. This is great. Fantastic. Remember, the why piece is what people will remember. And they're not remembering it because of why you do what you do. They're remembering it because of your energy behind it. They're remembering that this person's kind of passionate about what they talk about. And that's what they'll remember. And another little hack for networking, particularly for in person, is if you're going to a new group and you're meeting new people, you want to go back to that group a few more times. Because when people see you over time, that just, like, oh, hey, I remember you, and it just helps to build connection even better. This is great. Thank you for everyone for sharing. Now, when you practice this in front of a mirror, if you want to, or just by going out and doing networking events and having to say it, that's an even better way to do it. Make sure again that that final sentence is short enough that you feel comfortable with it. And that's key. Some people put in too much, too long. People won't remember details. You want it to be super short. And it's an invitation for them to walk across the bridge and continue the conversation with you. Fantastic. Julia, that's a great one. Improve sales and positioning through their product assortment. Carly. Hi, Carly. Amazing artist that you are. This is great. Okay. So please, when you have a moment, go back, read through all of these, make some connections. There's great power again in those connections. And I love that WBC has created a platform where we can do that. So here we are. I've offered you a few tools, 3 to be exact. Ask questions, be curious, collect stories, use this formula to keep it just so simple. We've taken action. You've shared some here. Now I challenge you to go online, check out WeBC's platform, go to other community platforms around you, choose an event. Online is great. This is beautiful, but even more powerful is to go in person. So find something in person in the next month and just go. Just go and do it. Use your words, use your voice, use your space because you deserve to have the space. And most importantly, just trust that by sharing your energy, you are going to light the sparkler for someone else just because of who you are, not because of your charismatic Rico Suave personality, just because of who you are. Confident, intentional communication, it drives clarity, connection, and opportunities. But here's the thing, at times, it can be hard to just get there. It's hard to get outside that room that's looking like that dog, or at least I do. It's hard to walk into new experiences or maybe online. Sometimes it's hard to put ourselves out there. So I want to offer you some mindset shifts to help you get away from that. And I'll do these quickly, but I find them to be the most common, whether you are a very seasoned, like even a CEO, my clients who are, I don't like using this word, but very successful, still have these vultures. They just kind of alter and tweak. So if you see this vulture in your own life, please use these mindset shifts to help you move past them. And these vultures kind of peck away at our possibility. And this is a big part of my program is the plus, because speaking, using our words, voice, energy, and a space is one skill, but the skills only go so far if we're willing to use them, right? So it's the mindset where we can hold ourselves back. And that's where this next little bit of information comes from, this content. So what holds you back from pitching you? The vultures, there's 3 of them, most common to most people. Again, they peck at your potential and your possibility. And we don't want that. We want to be able to own our agency and be able to move forward in ways that feel good for us and asking for the opportunities. The first is the mindset, the question of who am I to think I can? Who am I to think I can do that? Years ago, I was doing a keynote at a women's conference. Last minute, before I got on stage, like last minute, we have to take 10 minutes away from your time on stage. So if anyone here is a speaker, okay, got it. That's pretty short notice, but okay. And I had to in my brain readjust, and I did this presentation, and it felt okay. The energy of this particular room was, I don't know, you think women's events would be so empowering, but that's not always the case. And when I got home, there was emails waiting in my inbox. One person asked if I was from America because how I said the word frustrated. I guess I don't use the R. And she said the whole table was laughing. It was so funny. What an interesting email to get. Other people, and I had a few different comments, and I'm used to getting comments. I worked in radio and TV. People said my ears stick out. I thought that was interesting. I didn't ever think that, but no, well, it's fine. But you get all kinds of comments. And I just felt very disempowered from the whole experience, not just the emails, because on the drive home from that experience, I questioned whether I should do this work. I truly I was like low. I'm like, I don't even know if I have it. I don't know if I have what it takes. Uh, just, it felt like shit, did not feel good. I put my heart into it. But, sometimes it happens as a speaker. I was fairly early in my career, so I just didn't have the experience, the highs and lows to balance the context. Well, not long after that, I already had a booking for another women's conference. And I shared the exact same keynote and I got a standing ovation. And it felt amazing, not because of the standing ovation, but because I felt people were connecting and resonating. Now, maybe I got way better in that short amount of time, possibly. But that same conference has had me back for 11 years. And I've been able to make a community with those people and be able to be fulfilled by offering more impact and providing my own value and receiving so much back from it. The reason why I share this story is because if I had listened to the voice of who am I to think I can do this? Like, who am I to think that I have the audacity to think I could share ideas, right? It can be validated on both sides by the evidence we seek to see or we see. And so this is a vulture that can get in our own way. So when this happens in your own mind, I want you to switch it up to I am worthy enough to try. First, you have to become aware that the vulture is pecking away at you, which is hard, especially on some hormonal days. But when you see it, when you feel it, when you hear it, who am I to think I can do this? You think, well, I am worthy enough to try. I see other people doing things that I want to do. I'm like, well, if they're worthy enough to try, I'm worthy enough to try. But this is a personal faith belief. And it's what's going to get you onto the bridge. It's what's going to propel you to walk forward. So I am worthy enough to try. It's a slight mindset shift that hopefully allows you to elevate your experience as a person so you can go after those things you say you want. The second is skills based. Can I actually do that? Have you ever wanted something so bad and you've gone after it? And like you worked hard for it. You're like, I want this, like a client or a contract or something. And then you get it and your stomach sinks and you're like, oh my gosh. Like, I don't know. I don't know if I can actually do this, right? It's easier to say you want something than actually do it. So if you have that vulture pecking away at your potential and possibility, we're going to slightly shift it to I can learn. So your confidence isn't so much in what you know. That's a fixed mindset. Your confidence is in your ability to learn. You're a badass. You can learn, you can grow, you can expand, you can be uncomfortable. So that is the slight mindset shift when you get stuck in, can I actually do that? Yeah, you can learn. Yeah. Everything's figure outable. That's a word, right? Some days more than others. And the third vulture that gets in the way of all of us is social based. What will others think? Oh my gosh. What will my partner think? What will my friends think? What will my colleagues think? What will my boss think? What will other people in the industry think? Oof, there's a lot of pressure on us, right? And we care. It's okay to care what people think, but when it stops us from moving forward with what we say we want, well, that's a tragedy. And it's so easily done because we listen to the vulture. What will other people think? So when that goes to your brain, here's a slight shift. Who will I inspire? Because I guarantee you that someone is inspired by you. Someone's watching you, how you show up, how you work, how you go after things, your ideas, your creativity. I don't know, someone's inspired by you. It could be the Starbucks barista, coffee shop barista. It could be someone, it could be your own kids. It could be a friend, that the babysitter that you had brought in a few times who's like thinks that, oh, wow, one day I'm gonna be able to do what she does. Someone is inspired by you. Isn't that a cool concept? So, yeah, we'll be judged. Yes, something I've had many people say, you can't do this to my face, or not a good idea. But when we move forward with what we feel intuitively is important, we will be inspiring someone. So keep that in mind. I think that's some powerful truth. So there you have it. We're using our pitch. We're communicating with confidence by using our words, our voice, the space we choose to take up, and the energy that we just genuinely naturally bring to every conversation because of who you are. Who you are, not who you need to be, just by showing up as you. And if you can connect with that personal truth and faith in yourself and get on that bridge and walk across, whew, opportunities will come, not because they magically appear, but because you engineer them. And I think that's the funnest part. But don't make that a big weight on your shoulders, right? Just get out there, create the connections, and spark the possibilities, and then follow them with the ones that feel good. If I could go back 15 years ago to that original conversation with that coach and really reflect on how I've grown over the last long time, feels like a lot has happened in that span of time. I think there's two lessons I've really learned from from that experience. One, the Passion Party brand is very, very strong. I am still asked if I sell sex toys. I'm like, oh, what's your passion igniter? Like now it's funny. Now it's like a joke. Get to use it on keynote stages. Yay, it's become part of my material. But it's gonna get old eventually. But yeah, I still get asked. And that company hasn't been around for years, a long time. So that's power of a brand. And the second one is this: impactful communication is not about saying more, it's about connecting more. And that's why the formula for your pitch is so simple and so short. It's an invitation to invite someone to come across that bridge and chat with you. Your elevator pitch, oh, I'm grainy, what happened to me? Isn't about impressing people. It's about giving your work the voice that it deserves. And it deserves your voice. If you are out there saying you want to do this and you're excited about it and you have skills and you are making a difference, that means your work deserves your voice. So get out there, share your voice, enjoy the experience as much as you can, and continue to expand and elevate your pitch. Now, in terms of connections, I would love to stay connected. So I do have a LinkedIn account. Please connect with me there. We can add value to each other's network. Send me a quick little note. I would love to hear your stories, your ideas, your questions, anything that you would like to share with me. That's a great place, of course, on my website at passioneigniter.ca. And if you have any interest in being more articulate and confident in how you present yourself to the world, whether it's on stage in front of a boardroom or maybe in front of your team, perhaps consider Speak Plus, my 12-week program that Dawn was mentioning in the beginning. We get to work one-on-one. It's fairly intensive, but it really does expertly guides you through a process where at the end, you can not only share your elevator pitch, but your own thought leadership as well. And I have one more thing for you. I have a gift. This is my Shift Up e-course. It's a 27-day e-course. You just sign up for it with the QR code. It comes directly to your inbox. In the last 15 years, I've certainly learned a lot, and I've infused that into this inspiring, insightful, fun program that just comes to your inbox, and it can be some affirmations and ideas for you to elevate your own personal, professional life as well. So that's it for me on my end. Thank you for listening. Thanks you for participating. And I certainly hope you've gleaned a little insight tip or two from the last 45 minutes together.
Thank you so much, Trisha. And the folks, there is time for some questions. If you've got some questions, you can pop them into chat. That's probably the easiest. Or put up your hand, and we'll have time for a few. I want to set some expectations. We won't be able to cover all of your questions today, but Trisha has given you her contact info, and you will get a copy of this recording and the chat. So the connections, Trisha, you absolutely have given us not only ignited and inspired us. I can speak for myself, and I know from the chat that this is happening for many, many of you. The tools, the idea of a mindset shift. There's so many nuggets in this presentation today. Thank you so much. And folks, jump in. If you have a specific question, we have a few minutes. Please do.
Mm-hmm. Happy to answer. Or even to give a share that you think would be valuable to the group as well. Happy to hear that too.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a specific question or a comment, yep. Lena, you've got your hand up. Jump right in.
Oh, hi, Trisha. I'm speaking for everybody. That was so wonderful. Thank you. I admired your presentation. Um, the three vultures, the first vulture, um, you said the other two, there was skills and social. So
Mhm.
what was the first one? Was it myself?
Yes, it would be that it's confidence. I refer to it as confidence.
Confidence.
Yeah, that
Okay.
personal confidence.
Okay. And the help love, did you say that you can choose one or the other, or did you say it's preferable to say I love,
Oh,
depending?
it's so you're talking about the elevator pitch and we're
Hmm.
talking about the why. And I have found in my experience with working with individuals that some people aren't comfortable to just truly own like this is what I do and the impact I make or the value I bring to clients because maybe they haven't done enough of it yet. And instead of letting imposter syndrome kind of get in our way, to me, it's a little bit easier to talk about what you're passionate about or what you love as a transition before you get there.
Okay, thank
Hmm.
you. And then I think I will need to use the love at first. And
That's
the
great.
who,
Len
um,
Lena,
oh,
I'm going to interrupt. I'm
oh,
sorry, I'm going
sure.
to interrupt. You definitely will get a copy if there's some extra pieces that you need in there. Absolutely, you'll get a copy of the recording as well. I just would
Okay.
like to jump to a few more questions. We've just got a
Oh,
few
sure.
minutes. You good
Thanks for
Okay.
with that?
asking.
Thank you. Um, Stacy's had her hand up. Stacy, do you want to jump in with your question? Oh, you're on mute, Stacy. You got it.
Thank you. My name is Stacy Wakefer, and I sew custom-made garments. I specialize in corsetry.
Ooh,
Uh, I primarily market towards the drag performer, cross-dresser, and trans folk community. Um, because my corsets are styled and sized to fit the male torso.
hmm, very
I'm
cool.
wearing a corset now. I'm not, but at an event, I would be wearing a corset and said, "This is a corset. I love corsets." So that's my kind of spiel. But I wanted to say
Beautiful.
thank you for reminding me about Eventbrite.
Mm.
I haven't used
Wonderful.
them in a long time. I'm in a new community now. So I'm thank you for that.
Oh,
The
absolutely.
more
That's great.
connections for you, Stacy. More
Mm.
Hmm.
connections with an Eventbrite. Thank you for your question.
Thanks for
And thank
sharing.
you for your pitch.
Yeah, it's
Marie,
fun.
Marie Cecile, jump right in.
Sorry, I was on mute. Yes, thank you so much. It was really inspiring. I work with bilingual municipalities, so that's meaning French and English.
Hmm.
So I totally get it. It could be uncomfortable to enter a room speaking English and your first mother tongue is French.
Wow, that would be hard.
So this is why I find your elevate. I learned how to do elevate speech, but it was like 5 minutes.
Oh,
So
yeah.
thank you so
Interesting.
much. I
Oh,
just wanted to
what?
say thank you so much because that's something I can share with my colleagues, my French
Yes,
colleagues. So
please do.
thank you so much.
That means a lot. Yeah, please share the knowledge. Share it
I
around.
will. Thank you.
Right. And as Fernanda says, or Spanish in my case,
Wow.
right? Yeah, coming into a room with when English is not your first language. Yeah.
Actually, if I can just come in, I don't know. Like for me, love, the love word is too strong,
Hmm.
too personal. So I was wondering if it is okay for me to say I'm helping or I like to help instead of.
It's whatever feels good for you because
Okay,
there's no right or wrong. And at the end of the day, no one's going to remember the words you used, but they're going to remember that you felt good about them. So, yes,
perfect.
absolutely.
Thank you.
Spin it for
Thank
how it
you.
feels good to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate everything like all of this. Thank you.
Oh, good. I'm glad. Thank you.
Wonderful.
Dawn,
We've got
Susan also had a question. She said she'd love to hear more examples of questions to ask when collecting stories.
Oh,
great question.
yeah. So I think it's very context dependent, like who you're talking to, the type of event, but really it's looking at the person as an individual and asking one question typically leads to another. It's like, I usually start with what they do as work. So, oh, tell me more about the work that you do. What is it about your work that you love the most or like the most? And how long have you been there for? Are you from here? And those simple questions lead to like all kinds of conversations. If someone says they're from another place, you can ask, well, what, if you don't mind me asking, what brought you here? And I've like the last event I went to, I learned about people and their children, and many of them had moved to the Kelowna area for different reasons. So I hope that's helpful, but truly just kind of being in the moment and hearing what they're talking about and saying, well, tell me more about that. That's a great one. That can lead to all kinds of things. Mm-hmm.
Right. There was another question in chat about the whether or not to keep it to business. Should it, if you're in a B2B conversation, do you keep the questions business related? That was the question.
That I think it depends what you're comfortable with. I don't purposely go personal. It's just I'm interested in the person because I can learn all about their business from their website and they can learn and they're asking me business questions. I will absolutely answer that. And usually in the conversation, that's where you start about what you do. But if there's some synergy and you're wanting to connect a little bit better, it's good to know about the person because you're doing work with a person and their business. Yeah, so it's again what you're comfortable with, but usually it starts with business, and then there's some questions in there about like, tell me about you, tell me about what you got going on.
That was a great question. Thank you, Susan. Thanks for that question. Okay.
Great questions.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, folks, we're not going to be able to get to all the questions today. I wish we could. This is a hot topic. We ignited, Trisha, you ignited all kinds of things, even growth mindset, because I saw in the chat today a lot of people revising their pitch and saying, here's my revised one. So,
I like that.
to this audience, you are truly amazing. And Trisha, just so much valuable information and some ways to reconnect with you as well.
Thank you.
I'm just going to stop sharing. I'm going to start sharing my screen again. I'm going to come just a couple of things I'd like to share with you as we, just a minute, almost.
Thanks, everyone.
Don't go away.
Okay, I'm still here.
Yes, here we go. Hang on. Sorry, folks, that took me a little longer. There's our welcome to Trisha. I wanted to remind folks as well that WBC has what are called SMART programs, and these are our on-demand programs that you can access free of charge. Specific business topics. Each of them are about 90 minutes long, and you can access them free of charge from the website. And and at a time that works for you. That's the beauty of on-demand learning. So some great topics: HR for small business, financial fitness, strategic marketing, and more. I'd also like to share with you, just a minute, hang on here. Oh, I'm so sorry. Upcoming. Oh, those are our upcoming programs. That's it. And we've got a poll that Jen is going to launch. We'd like to have your feedback about today's session, but also think about topics that you would like, either in fireside chats or in any of our training sessions. What is a topic that would be important for you? We'd love to have that feedback as well. Okay. Just give you a
Wow,
half a
real-time
moment.
data.
Yeah. And then I'm going to turn it back over to Trisha just to do a closing out for us today.
Trisha, I don't know if you have a couple minutes, Jen here. Looks like there was a question in the Q&A.
Yeah.
It says, struggling with keeping my pitch short. I'm a consultant working in cultural systems and psychological health and safety. Any tips to condense? Thanks in advance. And that's Angie.
Yeah, it can be so hard because we do a lot of really cool stuff, right? We provide some really important services and it's hard to kind of get all the words into one sentence. I would suggest focusing less on what you do and the impact it makes, because that's more of an invitation of a conversation. So if you could like your overall mission of, and for some folks, it can be that you're actually including your mission as a person, right? Like an overall theme, and then all your work fits under it, kind of like the passion igniter thing. But yeah, another great tool is AI. So if you do use AI, put everything in there and it will help you condense it and just go through different iterations of that as a tool to help you. But yeah, and I feel in some cases for people, it's using your mission, a little bit more of a comfortable invitation, but it can be a challenge because it all feels important, right? But the problem is no one's going to remember it all. And so you want to stick with what you have the most energy behind. And then through the conversation, you can throw more in. I hope that's helpful.
There's Trisha, there's lots and lots of connecting happening on the chat as well. So you've ignited that spark. People are crossing that bridge and they're making those connections today. And as I've mentioned, WeBC will send you, all of you who have registered, will send you a copy of today's recording, which will include the chat. So you'll be able to find everything there. So
Awesome.
without further ado, we're a minute ahead. Jennifer, we couldn't do this without you. And Brandy, we couldn't do this without you. WeBC always has the best tech support to bring these to you and to make them happen. So Jennifer and Brandy, thank you so much. Trisha, we clearly could not have done this without you, and it was an honor to be here hosting it with you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having me, WeBC and everyone else. It's been fun. I had a good time.